Good morning. It's Friday. It's Friday Grief Chat. We're back. I'm Jill. That's Deb. And we want you to meet Don, who is an amazing guy
I'm
and
Deb.
does all the things with travel and also has had his fair share of grief. And he agreed to come and speak to us despite the fact that he just got back from Alaska and is getting ready to go again. And you're all going to be jealous and want to be Don. Right?
Don't hear that very often.
Yes, it's okay to be jealous on this show. We accept it all.
It is. We do. We do. How's your week been, Deb?
Good. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so I actually bought the number 69, and I bought a shark happy birthday and a rainbow unicorn tablecloth and 3 cakes.
I think you should do it well because,
Yeah.
you're sliding into 70 and it should be a big home plate. Right?
Yes. I'm grateful for every day I got.
Exactly right.
Yes.
That's what we all are. Been good here too, although it's going to be warm today. Not even a fire in town. So Don comes to us from Canada, where he is a travel agent, but he was other things before being a travel agent. And,
lots of things.
And now he's got not one, but 2 YouTube channels. And he goes everywhere with them and talks about all things. And he also has faced some serious health battles. And he's been very open with them, which is something that Deb and I really value because we love it when people talk about things rather than keeping them clamped down so that other people can learn from them. Right. So we are quite lucky to have him here. Don, can you tell our group a little bit about where you have been in your world, what you've done in your life?
Oh, well, if you're talking careers,
that
I've done everything from being a forklift driver, a courier, a cameraman, a ditch digger, a farmer, a high-tech engineer, a manager, and now finally I am a YouTuber / travel agent. And a lot of little jobs in between, running hotel desks and all that kind of stuff, of course. But it's funny where life takes you, because I worked for Frito-Lay a long time, the chip guys here in Canada and the United States, and I was one of the managers for the night shift running the Ottawa warehouse when I was diagnosed my first time with cancer. And I always say, people ask me, what's your best day of your life? And then they'll ask you, what's your worst day? For me, it was the exact same day. The day I was diagnosed with cancer was the worst day. And then the day I was diagnosed turned out to be one of the best days because my career changed and my life changed completely after that. For the positive, believe it or not, even though I've had 10 surgeries with cancer, it's actually been a better life.
And that is the outlook that I so admire, because Don had his most recent surgeries only a few weeks ago.
I just got back on. When did I get back? I got back Monday from my last Alaska trip. I had a group on board, and 7 days before that, I had complications and just got out of the surgery. I was in hospital for 8 days with fluid in the lungs after the surgery. And my surgery before that was exactly 7 days before that. So basically less than 3 weeks. And I was in the hospital twice for weeks of those times. And I did something silly. Like I always tell people, never travel without travel insurance. Ever, ever, ever. Now I have year-long insurance, but because of the surgeries, if anything happened to my lungs, I would not have been covered under lung stuff. So if I broke my leg,
the year-long one?
No, because I had surgery on both lungs 1 month after each other. But I was covered for everything else. So if I came down with the flu, if I came down and broke my leg or something like that, I was covered. But because I had the group on board, I was not going to miss that cruise if they said I could fly. And so I flew down because I had 100 plus, 150 people on board. They were all hoping to see me, and we get to hang out and stuff like that. And people would be mad at me when they know I told everybody afterwards, yes, I did this. And but you know, when I tell people to have travel insurance, most people don't have 150 people waiting for them at the other end. And that's the only reason I risked it. Now, I made sure with my surgeon it was good. I made sure my lungs were clear at the time. I made sure I had all my medical so my lungs were good before I left. And so really the only danger was falling down or coming down with something else. But yeah, I broke my own advice, and I don't like breaking my own advice.
We just booked a cruise and put the insurance on the hotel and the cruise and the flights, because you know what? There just can't be enough, because when we travel, there's a 70% chance we're not going to get there in our house. So yeah, we bugged out on more trips than I can count.
Hey, Don, what kind of, so this was 10 years ago. Did I get that right? That you were diagnosed with cancer, and it was the gift of the day in the long run. I can see that.
My anniversary, it's basically 9 years almost to the day. Just happened. It was a lot to take in. The way I got diagnosed is I was at work. I was unloading a tractor trailer, and I got the shakes, and I couldn't stop shaking. And so they brought me to the office, put me under a heater, and I was still shaking. So we went and saw a walk-in clinic, and that my supervisor brought me in to do that. And the doctor there said, well, look, check me out. I calmed down. The shakes stopped after about 4 hours. And then they scheduled me for a colonoscopy. And about 3 weeks after that, I returned to the doctor to see how I was. And I wasn't, nothing since then. And so I asked the doctor, I said, do I still need the colonoscopy? And she said, you know what? It's scheduled. Let's just keep it. And they discovered a blockage that was, I think it was 91% blockage of the colon. It was so large.
Wow.
Had I waited another 3 or 4 weeks, it would have blocked completely, and I might have died on the spot. So that doctor saved my life. And then every surgeon since has kept me here. Can't say enough good things.
That's amazing. So it started with colon cancer?
Yeah, colon cancer spread to liver, spread to lungs, spread to adrenal gland, and now back to lungs.
And he's still here, and he's going to Africa.
Outlook on life, as Jill was saying.
Oh, I am a firm believer.
Now I'm really curious.
Well, I'm a firm believer. First of all, I have a great support system here. My family is mostly here in town now. My mother passed away when I went in after my first surgery. My stepdad passed away about 3 years ago. But my kids are here. My grandkids are here. My nephews are here. My sister's now in Ottawa. We're all friends. You would think my nephews are my brothers. We hang out so often. We're very close that way. And I'm going to tell you, believe it or not, having the YouTube channel helped me a lot through some of my harder times. Because I went through chemo and I got bald, I got the spots on me, and I looked horrible. And, one day I remember one person made the comment that said, hey, why would anyone watch this guy? He looks like a zombie. Now, to this guy's defense, he was just being a smart aleck comment. He was a young guy, and he didn't realize I had cancer. And everybody jumped on him.
Good.
And he apologized immediately. He was just trying to be funny. And, younger people, that's their humor sometimes, right? No, but to this day, it's been 7 years. He's still a follower on the channel.
Nice.
Because he was so thankful that I didn't lambaste him and I didn't send everybody, go tell this guy off or anything like that. I just said, hey, no problem. I understand. Don't worry about it. I even commented in the chat and everything.
Yeah,
But
educated.
my community has been wonderful. The people who support me, I've had people on every group cruise I've ever done, the same people. It's amazing. They're so supportive. I get cards and letters every time I go in for surgery. And what can be a better support system than that?
And they really are. I watched the videos while he was in the hospital, and Don was actually would show like where the tubes are and what the tubes are draining, and folks were just following and watching. I tried to send an Amazon gift and they wouldn't deliver it to Canada. That was a cup for the hospital that said at least you don't have to wear the cone.
The cone, yeah.
Yeah.
Veterinary cone.
So what kind of cruises do you put on? Is it related to what you do, or obviously you get people from your YouTube channel, right? Or is it only from your new job?
No, it's almost entirely people who watch me on YouTube. But it's basically, I just say, hey guys, we're going on a cruise. Do you want to come? And, you know, we have a cocktail party on board. We take group photos. We take pictures. I never eat on these group cruises. You'll hardly ever see me eat. I'm always walking around from table to table saying hi to everybody and trying to get to everybody I can. And people always comment, when are you going to sit down and eat? I said, I'll eat in my room in the buffet or room service. Right now, I want to make sure everyone's having a good time. And it's kind of a just do your own thing, you know, other than the cocktail party and eating at the same time. But people are amazing. They've been so good. So
they want what you're having. It's a buffet of Don.
Well, they want what I'm having. They don't want what I have. You see the difference?
There is a difference. Wow. And so can you explain a little bit more how, because there's some mixed bag out there. Some people say you shouldn't put your troubles like that on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever, or grief. People get a lot of grief for putting their grief on there, which whatever. And so how did it help you? I think people don't realize how much it helps the person who has the cancer, who has the loss of a child, that has a loss, who's divorced or whatever. It really helps. But from your perspective, do you mind sharing how it helped you?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, especially going through the roughest part of my cancer treatments and everything. Just having the comments and everything saying you can do it, etc. That just kept me going. And you know what else? Had I not had a YouTube channel and just sitting at home, not working, doing nothing, I would have been thinking about my own bad situation. But this gave me something to do, something to talk about. I could talk about a fun subject, and every once in a while I would talk about what's happening with me medically. I think also when you're talking out there, it's hard. Some people just come across as it's a pity party and they want pity, right? At least that's the way it's conveyed. They may not want it, but if you really don't know how to express yourself sometimes, it can come across that way. And people just go, you're just looking for pity. You're just looking for a handout, or you're looking for money, or you're looking for something. I was a travel agent before anyone ever knew I was a travel agent. Like, you would hardly know I'm a travel agent on my channel. I hardly mention it, you know, and I still make my living off of it. But I never mention that I'm a travel agent. I talk about what I want to talk about, the cruising, what's happening, the fun stuff. And once I made a video, I was overnight in the Montreal airport. I landed at like 10 o'clock at night, and my flight wasn't until 7 in the morning. And I had to spend the night in an empty airport in Montreal. And my video was called Opening Up Alone at the Airport. And I just talked about that's when I really opened up about cancer, my ex-girlfriend passing away the week I went in for my first surgery, being buried on the day I was there for my surgery, how I felt she was looking after me from above, kind of thing. All those things, it helped me to clear the air, because I always wanted to. If you ask my family, I never talk about this stuff. When I went in for surgeries, I walked to the hospital by myself when I lived close by.
Oh my goodness.
Like I'm about 2 miles away. I would walk to the surgery in the morning by myself. I would not want to bother my family. I always kept that stuff inside. But when I'm sharing it online, in my mind, I'm thinking, what if it helps one person?
Which is what it does. I've actually referred people to your channel that I see in my practice who are facing similar illnesses. And the positivity that you exude, even when facing the really hard stuff, has made a difference. And that's what's important about sharing the hard stuff, but also maintaining the sense of humor and maintaining the ties and recognizing that asking for help is the best thing you can do.
Well, I don't know if you saw my video just before I went in for into the hospital the last time. It was called, "I think something's wrong. I'm going to the hospital."
Yes. In fact, my wife called me and said, you need to watch Don right now.
Oh. Well, I kept the beginning in that video to show people how hard I was just to talk. Like I have an opening when I start my video that I say, "Hi, everybody, it's Don. I hope you're having a fantastic day." I couldn't even say that. I stopped like I tried it like 7 or 8 times, and I kept that in there just to show people, hey, this is happening. This is what's happening. So you share the bad. You don't edit things out. Just be honest with people. And I think that's the world. That's the world. When my son's dog passed away, I was devastated. That dog lived with me more than my son. Like it was with me the whole time. And I was devastated when the dog died. And I got to express myself on my channel. And afterwards, I thanked everybody for letting me share my story of my dog. And, again, it was a way to release some stuff, talk about it, but not talk about it to my family. You know what I mean? Not burden anyone individual with my story. I got to share it with everybody. Now, if you don't have a YouTube channel, share it with as many people as you can. I'm a firm believer. Like I share it with my best friend who came to live with me while I was going through some stuff, all that stuff. But I didn't want to burden my kids. I didn't want them to worry. I didn't want my nephews to worry or my sister to worry. But my friends and everything who I was really, really close to, I did share it with. But the YouTube channel really helped me. And I think Facebook and that would help a lot of people just to talk about it sometimes.
It really does. When my first 2 wives were ill, they both have passed away. We didn't have some of this. And so I did blogs and I posted the blogs, and not only did it allow me to not have to answer the phone and not have to send out individual emails, but it allowed me to share what was going on, but also include a sense of humor and educate about some of the things about what it's like to be sick and be talked over instead of talked to, and all the things that happen when you are sick, and being told you look so good when you feel like crap and you really don't want to be told you look so good because you know you really don't, right? That kind of thing. But they're also now still being used to help diagnose folks, because my second wife died of Lewy body dementia, which is very hard to diagnose. And so the list of symptoms has helped there. It's that educational piece, but also the sharing the experience and the maintaining the positivity, even when it's hard, that makes such a dramatic difference and draws people to you, Don.
I'm a firm believer in staying positive through everything. I've been, I've gotten divorced. Parents have died. I've gone bankrupt, been out on the street, literally $200 to my name, living in a rented room in somebody's basement with no car, no nothing, no job. Even at the time, I had lost my job. And I still stayed positive. Because if you let yourself wallow in pity or depression, that's when it just escalates. And you can't get yourself out of it sometimes. you know, and that worries me when I see people. Like I've had a very close friend pass away through suicide, and no one saw it coming because they always put on a brave face. And you
that
never
doesn't
see it, you never see it coming sometimes. But because they just put on a brave face, didn't let anybody know, it built up and built up until they couldn't take it anymore. And I'm a firm believer in just not, you got to tell somebody, you got to share your story, let somebody know.
Reach out.
Yes. Yeah.
We literally practice holding up a white flag in my office sometimes with folks. And I have my dementia support group tomorrow that I do every month. That's nationwide. And that's one of the first things we practice is how do you keep a sense of humor? And second, how do you ask for help? Because literally it's, no, I got to be able to handle this myself. That's not what humans are built for.
A lot of people feel like that though. Yeah. Go ahead.
I am pretty independent. I'll tell you that, like I said, I went to surgeries myself. I'm a self-sufficient guy. I believe I'm old school. My dad taught me you do the best you can and you handle it, no matter how bad it is. And that served me well through life. I'm also a very positive person though.
You are.
So it's hard to get me down. It's hard to get me angry unless you touch my food in the buffet. Then I get very upset. But other than that,
talk in front of you in the theater,
or behind me. I'm always in the front row. You. Good luck talking in front of me. But yeah, in fact, people were trolling me on my last cruise. People from my group, they'd walk behind me and pretend they don't see me, and they said, we can talk on our phone back here, and I'll message you, and they just know I'm listening to them, and I'm going, yeah, okay. I expect somebody in line to run up on when I'm carrying my plate in the buffet and just run up and start touching everything just to see your reaction.
Ew.
Right.
Stab them with a fork.
Just as a joke. So people haven't done that yet. I think they know that would be not good for them.
That'd be a boundary barrier. Yes.
Don, and I want to ask this just out of curiosity. And let me set this up because Stephen Colbert is going to be canceled in 2026. Anderson Cooper had the clip from when Anderson and Stephen talked about loss, the very first thing. And Anderson said to him, do you think everything is a gift? And Stephen Colbert, who's very, he always talks about his Catholic faith. He always talks about this or that. He said yes. And he elaborated, do you have a certain faith that you follow, or were your parents influenced? Did they influence you about being positive? Like, where do you think you get this? It's a gift. It was a gift that not everybody can say that. They usually say, oh, that was when my life ended. And I just want to say, Stephen Colbert said, nope, you have to accept that there's suffering. Life is a gift. Just life is a gift, and that there's suffering. And we know he's a Catholic person, but I was just wondering how you came into this kind of positivity. Because it's infectious.
It's an interesting question, because I would say neither of my parents are really were really that positive. But they did instill into me a work ethic, right? No matter what job you do it the best you can. If someone's paying you to do it, no matter how crummy the job is, you do the best you can. And literally, I've been in some really boring jobs where I'm sitting in front of a thing and I'm building something like this for 8 hours a day. It's as boring as can be. But once I got the job, I want to be the best at building that dumb little thing and the fastest. And usually within like a month, I'm beating everybody beside me because they're just filling in the time, getting paid. I want it to be the best. And the next thing you know, the supervisors notice this. And oh, by the way, we want you now to become the trainer for that item. And then they want me to become the trainer for the building, and then the country, and then North America. Like it happens over and over again. That I just stay positive. That one of the things that I've always said, it's no use moping about something. It's not going to change anything. You have to change things yourself. You could just let it bother you, or you can move on. And I am a firm believer just moving on. And yeah, I guess I'm just a very positive person overall in life. Yes, there's crummy things that happen. Yes, there are jerks out there. There are bad people out there, but do I let that bother me? No, you just live your life and go on with it.
You double down and make it work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In whatever way you have to. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
I'm so glad you're here.
It's funny that you mentioned religion, because I never, like, my parents were Protestant, but not practicing, if you know what I mean. But they had certain thoughts.
Yes.
Don't change your religion. We're having Christmas. Certain things my dad believed in, and would get mad if I was to ever say I'm going to change it, kind of thing. But not religious at all. Yet, people always say, God bless to me, and we're praying for you. And I would never tell anybody, oh, well, my parents weren't religious. I thank you very much.
All the good thoughts.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Whether I believe in any religion at all, if you're thanking me on behalf of your religion, no matter what religion in the world it is, I'm thanking you.
That's right.
Just like if somebody says Happy Hanukkah to me or Merry Christmas to me, I'll never take offense whether I'm practicing any of those religions. It's a thought that counts. So, and that's the positive way to think about things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I always say I'm not racist. I'm not nothing. If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. Period. I don't care about anything else.
End of story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jill, you're going to put on, if you haven't already, his YouTube channel, right?
They're on the ads, and I'll put them in the show notes. Yes. Yeah.
So
there's one called Just Dawn, and that one is more like thoughts and things and that. And then Don also has his travel YouTube as well.
Wow.
And they're both, we look forward to them every day. And, we, in our house, we've had a lot of trips that we've had to cancel because of various illnesses and because of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
We most famously were supposed to get on a river cruise in Holland a few years ago. And my mom called me from home here in California and asked if the neighbors would be upset that the troops were going to be in her backyard that night. And so we called our travel agent and got on the next flight home, and missed that cruise and used our insurance. Thank you. They paid. So we watch travel videos as a way of connecting with being able to get out and about. We do have a cruise plan now as of just a few days ago. Very excited about that. It's a repeat.
Where are you going?
Cruise.
I might be on the cruise.
We're going to Alaska.
Fun.
We've been before. We're going to go again. I'm so looking forward to it. It's my wife's 60th birthday, and it's time to go to Alaska.
You'll love it. Just got back. I go every year except the COVID year. That was the only year I've missed now in 24 years. So
it was our first cruise with our daughter when she was first placed with us for adoption. And we were standing on the Princess cruise looking over they announced the belugas were out. And the belugas came out, and her little 7-year-old self stood on the side and sang Baby Beluga in the Deep Blue Sea. And suddenly we had the entire deck to ourselves because nobody wanted to hear Baby Beluga in the Deep Blue Sea.
Right.
And then we got to go to the Denali Resort, and the lights came up. So
nice. You got real lucky on that cruise.
Oh, it was magic. So this one, we're just going to get away for a little bit. Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds wonderful.
there is a grief cruise every year, but I
Yes.
think a Dawn cruise sounds like fun and positive and all of that. And I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Every year we try and do a different destination.
Nice.
Wow.
And you are headed to where next? Our watchers want to know.
For a group, in December, we are in Fort Lauderdale on the brand new Star Princess that's going to be launched later this year. And then we're doing the Mediterranean in May next year for 2 weeks, back to back, 2 7-day cruises back to back kind of thing. So we have both sides of Greece we're doing, which should be fun. Haven't decided what I'm thinking. I'm doing a Halloween cruise in October next year as well. I have Christmas market river cruises next year that are already sold out. And then in 2027, I'm thinking Japan is going to be the next group cruise.
How amazing.
Always like to do different places.
And you're leaving yourself to go to 3 different destinations in a matter of weeks.
Oh, I go there, I come back for like 7 days, and then I'm at my travel agency national conference, which my boss just called me saying I had to go because I just won an award for one of the top sales people again. So I don't, I have all these awards. I don't put them anywhere. And there I just, okay, thank you. But then I leave there and I have Princess is having a seminar at sea for training. And they say only if you've been like if you're new, you've never done this course before. Well, I applied anyway, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're coming," because they like me to do talks when I'm on board.
Right.
Because I have all my groups on Princess pretty well, so I could probably train the trainers for Princess. So
that's amazing.
I love it. I love it. What a great balance to life you have. You know, I think that's where the peace comes, right? Yep. You can't stop whatever's gonna happen. You can, how you look at it and how you be with it is your choice.
Oh,
and
definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it so much. I know you're busy. You've got a lot going and you're leaving in a few days and you're still recovering. So
still have 3 more medical appointments this week. Tomorrow I have another shot for my Africa trip to get inoculized.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff happening.
Take all the pills, all of them.
Oh yeah, I'm taking my horse pill that's like this big right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do whatever the doctors tell me, and that's another secret. Do what the doctors tell you.
Right.
I just recently when I had my last 2 lung surgery conversations, I had a choice between doing surgeries or radiation. And when I talked to my doctor, Dr. Dennis, about radiation, he said for the right lung, which was the more difficult lung, 80% chance that he can clear it up with just radiation. But that's only 80%.
Right.
So I said, no, let's just go in and get it. Just do your best. And it turns out when they went in for the lung, it was scheduled for 2 hours. It ended up taking 7.5 hours because my lung had so many other previous surgeries. It was actually stuck to the wall of my chest, and they had to cut it away from the wall of my chest before they could even start the surgery. So my scar was supposed to be this big, turned out to be about that big.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of difficulties. But as soon as I came out of that surgery, I went, okay, when can we do the next one? Not, I got to recover. I got to take my time. I got to do this. Stay positive. This is done. Let's do the next one.
Right.
Wow. That is what we all need to do. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for being you. I mean,
being the example.
Yeah. My TMJ is kicked in because I am so happy at listening to you that I feel the muscles pulling in like this. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. And like I say, if one person gets anything out of it, I'm very happy.
We will post all of your information online so that everyone will have it. We've already posted it everywhere, but we'll post it again. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I hope you're better by Monday with some of this stuff.
Yep, me too, and I'm sure I will be. So
take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Don. Bye, everyone.